we're just going to have an intimate time tonight. We're just going to enjoy each other and just encourage each other. And I just want to kind of introduce our panel right quick. Paul Boyd. He's going to be giving us a update on the Covenant School shooting. And there's Dr. Todd Kirkland. This is my husband. He'll be talking about the biblical response to loss. And here we have Jake and Katie Dorak. They'll be telling us about Ella Kate, their daughter that they lost, and then they will be telling us a wonderful update. And then we have Jamie, Tony, and Madeline Hicks. And Jamie and their family, Jamie has lost 3 children, and she'll be telling us about that. So we're ready to get going, and we're just going to click right along here. And I just want you to know that here tonight we're kind of all equal, and this is not about personality, so we're not going to get into personalities and things. We just want to glorify God. We want to encourage people. Each person will come and tell you basically, you know, who they are when they get up and start, and tell you about why they're here at the Hope event. And I know you'll be blessed, and I know the people that are watching will be blessed. And but if you had anything to do with this Hope event, would you please stand? If you were on the prayer team or visual or anything, would you please stand? Don't be shy. And all these people up here, thank you so much for helping us. And we have some other people. Kate is in the back, and he's helping us as well. We're glad that you are here, and we want you to feel loved and honored today. And we then want you to take the same feelings back to your circle and pass the blessings on to others. We don't want it to just stay right here. We want it to go into our communities. We will have one of these events for the next 5 weeks on different topics. So go and subscribe to our channel, Hope Events channel, and you'll see which topics are there. And if you would like to share your story, then you can reach out to me and I will record your story. Right now, there are already people out there that have done long versions of their story, and they've already been posted. So I know that you will enjoy that. Later on, hopefully, we're going to have some flowers that we can draw. Somebody can win, but she's running a little bit late, so we'll skip on to the commercial. Gabe, if you'll play the commercial.
Bible says in Proverbs 13:12 that hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is the tree of life. NIV. We have been inundated with much heart sickness. We've become emaciated emotionally and starving for hope. The famine we face cannot be satisfied with mere words. We must begin to step out in faith that God is able and that God will restore our hope again. But just like with Moses and Joshua, the waters will not part until we first step into the waters that we are begging God to part for us. We must show faith that God will do great things, greater things than we could ever imagine. This is why First Baptist Church Manchester and Beautifully Broken Counseling LLC are partnering to bring a new dose of hope to our area and hopefully to the world via the internet. Just like at Asbury, we want to be a hub for God's glory to shine, a hub of hope. Wilfred Arlen Peterson wrote a poem called The Art of Marriage. He was quoted as saying, "The world needs less heat and more light. It needs less of the heat of anger, revenge, retaliation, and more of the light of ideas, faith, courage, aspiration, joy, love, and hope." This is why the Hope events were created. We will host recorded events to help our communities with handling our painful experiences, which is an acronym for HOPE. We will do this together in community with one another. What is a HOPE event, you ask? It is a topic event that brings together the heart and practical opportunities for real help in handling our painful experiences. In these events, we will have real-world stories of hope and healing alongside clinical representation and community support for each issue. We will also be speaking as to what God says about each topic from His Word. We will have doctors, authors, and agency leaders in our communities to help us navigate each topic and where the resources can be assessed. These people will form our panel for each event. Each topic will have a different panel of experts. The community will be invited to join and ask questions at the end of each event. We will have a time of invitation for anyone who needs to experience the love of our church through prayer. These will be free events and free for the sharing in your digital circles. We don't want famous people, but we want famous and hope-filled heroes of the faith. Please stand up and take your place in this moment with us. Let's shock the world with hope and start handling our painful experiences the right way. The devil will flee when we surrender our stories to the Lord and use them to help a fallen brother or sister. It is time to initiate a flood of hope.
I am Amy Miles. My husband Sean and I have been married for 23 years. When I first met my husband, he really didn't want to have any children. So then we went on to have 3 beautiful girls. We have a daughter, Isabella, 18, Sophie, 15, and Gwyneth, 11. The year after our first child was born, a song was released by the artist Natalie Grant called Held. In all honesty, I didn't like the song. I had just birthed my first child, and the content of the song was just too difficult for me to comprehend. The song focuses on the heartbreak of losing a child, something you really just don't want to dwell on right after you have your first child and you're enjoying that child. And so for me, I didn't love that song, but I found that that song had a purpose. And I'm going to go on and share that with you now. So I'm going to fast forward this story for you a little bit. Last year in 2020, I was going to be turning 47 years old before the year was out. Sean and I had decided early on in our marriage that we would not try to control fertility issues. In not controlling those things, we still thought we were in control to some degree. In March of last year, though, I became pregnant. And truthfully, I was very angry. I was angry with the Lord. This was not in my plan. Sean and I loved the stage of life that we were in, and we didn't want to backpedal. I was graduating my first daughter from high school, and we had a whole future to look forward to of our children growing up and moving out of the house. But the Lord, as He often does, reminds us who He is. My late in life pregnancy was doing some unexpected things in our community. It was giving people hope. Women were crying over this news that I was expecting a baby. They were telling me they were encouraged to see that you could conceive a child at my advanced maternal age. So, and the Lord was also working something new in my heart as well, reminding me that His plans are always better than my plans. I was slowly becoming okay with the idea that I might have a baby sometime around December 25th of 2022. Then, just as my heart was softened, I had to let go. On June 15th of last year, I miscarried at 12 weeks. I went in for a D&C and then went back home. The day after my surgery, I was scheduled to serve in the Jesus Tent at Bonnaroo. I could have chosen to stay at home that day. I definitely had a really good excuse. But my husband and I decided to go that day and serve, and that's where God showed up. In the tent was a young lady with whom I sat with for about 3 hours. We discussed lots of things during that time. It was a bit unusual for someone to hang in the tent for that long and sit. A good bit into the conversation, she opened up about the pain that she was still struggling with after having a miscarriage. And I had not shared anything with her about my experiences prior to her story. The Lord gave me a connection point with her that day that was deep. And in the process of that, He showed me His goodness. I was being held by Him. And the blessing is that I got to show her that she was being held as well.
Two months is too little. They let him go. They had no sudden healing. To think that Providence would take a child from his mother while she prays, it's appalling. Who told us we'd be rescued? What has changed, and why should we be saved from nightmares? We're asking why this happens to us who have died to live. It's unfair. This is what it means to be held, how it feels when the sacred is torn from your life and you survive. This is what it is to be loved and to know that the promise was when everything fell, we'd be held. This hand is bitterness. We want to taste it. Let the hatred numb our sorrow. The wise hand opens slowly to lilies of the valley and tomorrow. This is what it means to be held, how it feels when the sacred is torn from your life and you survive. This is what it is to be loved and to know that the promise was when everything fell, we'd be held. If hope is born of suffering, if this is only the beginning, can we not wait for 1 hour watching for our Savior? And this is what it means to be held, how it feels when the sacred is torn from your life and you survive. This is what it is to be loved and to know that the promise was when everything fell, we'd be held. We'd be held. And this that the promise was when everything fell, we'd be held. This is what it means to be held.
So our story kind of begins in December of 2015 when I lost my mom to cancer. And then 11 months after that, in November 2016, I also lost my dad. So it was a really tough season, losing both your parents within a year. And then one day we decided it was time that maybe we should go ahead and expand our family and have another child.
And we got pregnant right away in May 2017. It was a normal pregnancy. I had my pregnancy aches and pains and everything along with it, but it was just a very normal pregnancy. And we found out we were having a little girl, and we named her Ella Kate. So it was December, mid to late December, right around Christmas parties and just the hecticness of the holidays. And we went in for our 36-week update, and she was perfect. We went in that morning, heard a wonderful heartbeat. Everything was just absolutely perfect. And from then on out, we were getting ready to go to once a week appointments because it was at the end, and they said she could come at any point. And I woke up that Monday morning, December 18th. I hate reliving it. Anyway, I woke up that morning around 4 o'clock, and I knew something was wrong.
They did an ultrasound, and we found out that she didn't have a heartbeat anymore.
They prepped me to have surgery to have her. I was so shocked, in disbelief, and so sad. Her nursery was ready. Everything was ready to bring her home. And I had to deliver my baby who was in heaven. We asked for prayer right before I went in for surgery.
I remember as we were getting ready for surgery, Katie and I looked at each other, and we just had this overwhelming sense of peace, that God was fully in control, and that we could trust Him, even though we didn't understand why or what He was doing in the moment.
She was delivered. She was already in the room waiting on me and Jake, and we got to hold her. And Dr. Cox was there, and he prayed over us while I held her, and I held her little hand in mine. She was beautiful. She was 6 pounds and 14 ounces. She was perfect, is what they said. We came home to an empty nursery, ready for her. And once you do that, you have to plan a funeral.
I never thought in a million years I'd have to plan a funeral for my child.
A day that we were dreading so much, honestly, was a very special day to me. We weren't even supposed to be at the church that day for the funeral. We just decided to do a small graveside service. But it rained and it poured, and we had to make it at the church. And I'm glad we did, because there were so many people, hundreds of people there to support us. And I truly believe to this day that those hugs and those prayers are what got me through that day, and the strength from the Lord. It's what got me through. During her funeral, we sang the song, "It Is Well," the hymn, "It Is Well," and it is extremely, extremely special to me.
And we woke up Christmas Eve and we immediately looked at each other and knew we weren't really sure how we were going to do this. And we knew that this day needed to be a special day because we still had our son Luke, and he was 4 years old, and this could possibly be the first Christmas that he remembered. I'll just never forget how the Spirit of God in that moment told both of us that through this, you're going to have to choose joy. And so that night as we were getting ready for Christmas and making preparations, all of our gifts we had tucked away in Ella Kate's closet. And it was one of the first times that I had to walk into her room again. I just remember God kind of telling me that this is what choosing joy is going to be like. We were going to walk through some pain together, but because of Jesus, we were going to be able to choose joy.
So on January 5th, which was her due date, we honored her. We released balloons, pink balloons. We released 18 pink balloons. And later that night, at dinner, there was a pink sky. So I know she got her balloons. Throughout the year, we have chosen joy through every step of the way. I've gotten to do so many things and talk about my daughter Ella Kate to so many people in her story. And through her story, our purpose was to tell about Jesus. And through this entire year of choosing joy, I do believe it gave us joy. It brought me so much closer to the Lord, and I felt so close to my daughter.
After she passed away, people wanted to help, and so the church set up the Ella Kate Fund, and we were able to use the funds that were given in her honor to purchase sound equipment at Oakley Ministry Center, and then we were also to use a large portion of those dollars to purchase a new video system here at First Baptist.
It was the year, December 18th, 2018, and I knew that I wanted to do something to honor her, and I wanted it to be joyful. And I wanted it to be a special day for us. So we threw a party, and it was absolutely beautiful. So many people came, blew me away. We celebrated her life. We sang happy birthday, and we released balloons in honor of her. We wrote messages on them, and we sent them up. And to this day, it is still one of the most beautiful and joyful days I've ever experienced.
Not too long after that, or during that, our doctor gave us the green light to go ahead and try again, and to go ahead and try to have another baby. So we did.
In January 2019, I found out I was pregnant with our rainbow baby. And a rainbow baby is a baby that is born after a loss. And it's kind of known to be the rainbow after the storm. So then we went in for our first ultrasound. I was a nervous wreck, and I prayed and prayed and prayed just for a very strong heartbeat. And we get the ultrasound, and what does the ultrasound text say?
She said, good news, I see a healthy heartbeat, and I see not one, but two.
Two! We were shocked. Jake went weak in his knees.
I did.
I was like, this cannot be happening. I'm shocked. Yep, we're pregnant with two babies. Not one, but two. What an amazing gift from the Lord to bless us with two.
So in early April, we went in for a gender ultrasound. We found out that we're going to have both a boy
and a girl. We're naming them Elliot, Isaac, and Caitlin Joy. We feel like that truly honors our daughter. Elliot, Isaac, and Isaac means joy, and then there's Caitlin Joy. Tonight I chose to sing a song called It Is Well. It is a different version than the hymn. And I actually sang this song while I was pregnant with Ella Kate, and the hymn was sung at her funeral. So in the song it says, through it all, my eyes are on you. Through it all, it is well. And we will continue to choose joy through every step of our journey. Look at
Thank you for watching, and remember to choose joy.
Yeah.
All right, so Katie is not going to sing tonight. I decided I would take that part. So, no.
Y'all don't want that.
No one wants that. So as an update of kind of where we are today, the twins are 3 and they're about to be 4 years old. And so Elliot and Caitlin. And then Ella Kate would be graduating from preschool and entering kindergarten right now. And Luke is 9,
Almost 10.
playing basketball.
Yes.
So, and if you wonder how we're doing, man, I wish I could tell you that life after a stillbirth is easy and you choose joy in every single moment, and it's a great, happy, linear up to the right kind of moment, but it's not always. There's still times when grief hits you, you didn't see it coming. But God is still good. And I'm going to give it to Katie here in a second, but I think, no, I'm not. Okay. I think at one point we thought, and there was a lot of healing of bringing 2 babies home and getting to experience all the things that we didn't get to experience in the first round. But it didn't replace her. You know, we still think about her. We still talk about her. We still wonder, you know. It's not just what would it be like if she was here, but how different our lives would have been. But God is sovereign, as Amy has said, and he is still in control. And we are still grateful in choosing joy in the process.
Is this on? Yeah. Oh. We celebrate every year her birthday. So we go to her grave, and she's buried next to Jake's dad. And we go and we release balloons of whatever age she would be turning. So this year we will release 6 balloons. And the kids love it. They think it's fun. We do too. We love to watch the balloons. And we kind of take that day, December 18th, and just celebrate her. And we've leaned on a lot of verses throughout this time, but I think the one verse that we've kind of
What we hold on to is Nehemiah
8:10.
Do not grieve, for the joy of the Lord is our strength. Thank you.
As Paul comes up, I just want to say that the video equipment that we are using was donated by this church in honor of Ella Kate. So I think that it's kind of a full circle thing, that her death is actually producing something that we can use to give out to the world and produce some hope. So we just want to mention that